Previously on Miss President.
Mercy Modoni Kinywa, Millicent Achieng Otieno, Nancy Kemunto, Nancy Makasi, and Nasanai Letakush. We are sorry that you have not made it to the next level. However, we are very proud of you for having made it to this level, and we hope that you'll still continue to make Miss President proud, and you'll continue to be leaders in your different endeavors. Thank you so much.
Phyllis Wairimu Masharia. Robertina. Winnie Majani. Unfortunately for the three of you, we have to say goodbye today. Thank you. I guess you know what that means, right? You get to stay in for now. So congratulations. Thank you.
Nancy Nzisa Michael. Mercy Seraphine Wanyonyi, Nadia Ahmed Dabdala, congratulations, you have made it to the next level.
Please follow me.
Nerea Amondi and Shamala Immaculate, what do you think your fate is?
You understand? My fate, I have made it. That's the hope I have. I believe you will give me another opportunity because you've seen that there's potential for improvement. So I'm still in the race.
You believe you're still in the race? We will say your faith has saved you. Congratulations.
Here they are, the top 40 from over 1,000 applicants. We've come a long way. Started out with 1,000 women and now we are down to 40. There's been laughter, awkward moments, and triumphant times. Friendships have been forged, alliances created, and tears shed. This is a path to leadership. Is Kenya ready for a female president? Are these contestants ready to lead? We asked them this question more than once, and their answer is an unmistakably and emphatic yes. In the coming episodes, the contestants will undergo training tasks, various challenges and problem-solving activities, presentations, and finally eliminations to eventually end up with one winner, Miss President. So join us as we begin this next phase of the competition. Fortunately for the contestants, no eliminations in this episode. Eliminations will begin in the next episode. The knowledge, aptitude, resilience, and emotional intelligence of these top 40 women leaders will be tested as they pursue the very worthy goal of serving our great country. In today's training session, the contestants will be trained on governance. Now, governance involves establishing policies, then ensuring that these policies are properly implemented by the members of the governing body. Here are the counties that are represented by the top 40 contestants. 1,000 applications were received from all over Kenya, and from these, 70 contestants were shortlisted. After a series of auditions, 40 women were selected, and they will battle it out at the academy, where they will go through a process of training, tasks, challenges, problem-solving activities, presentations, and eliminations to eventually be elected Miss President. The candidates will be divided into 4 groups, as leadership does not work in a vacuum. Leaders are required to work with people from all walks of life. While working within these groups, the contestants will be tested on their ability to lead or work as a team. You can be sure that at every stage of this competition, you will be at the edge of your seat as these capable women try to convince the judges and you at home why they should make it to the next stage of the competition. Fortunately for the contestants, there will be no elimination in this episode. Eliminations will begin in the next episode. Unity of women will be tested greatly in this from now moving forward. Greatly. I remember you were saying that there's going to be talk of deputy president and prime minister. That's nice, but well, it might it will not happen. There's only one seat, and that's Miss President.
It is true that we'll showcase women leadership, but I also think it's a high time that we showed that women can work together. Sometimes we will lose, and it's a bit painful, but the question is, when someone looks at you from the other side, are you inspiring enough for them to be like you?
To be a strong person, you need strong people around you. And if you can't stand strength of other people, then you're not strong enough to be a leader. My challenge is to all women to actually arise and pick up the opportunities that the Constitution has provided, because all the opportunities are there.
The competition is high. It is very high because every woman here has something unique than the other. So, sometimes it's normal. You kind of think, do I have the mettle that every other woman has to actually surpass them? So that's an honest question that I'm asking myself.
And I'm also feeling honored to be among these amazing women, because everyone here is equally good. And even if I have to go, it doesn't mean I am weak. It just means that there's someone who had to go, and that was me.
So I look forward to putting even more effort to read, to listen to other leaders who have gone ahead of me.
That's right.
And also to reflect back on my own leadership journey for the last 22 years.
Give yourselves a round of applause because you made it in here. Yeah? Well done. Your leadership skills will be put to test on this one. Yeah? In as far as your group dynamics, in as far as your decision making, in as far as how you handle pressure, in as far as how you delegate tasks, how you choose who's your enemy and who's not, who's your competition, who's not. So all those things will be tested. In fact, I don't think the auditions had anything to do with it. I think here is where that happens. However, the good thing about this session is that we have a trainer, a teacher, who will of course first take you through training, then of course tasks, and then the presentation, and then elimination. However, today don't think about elimination. No one is going home. So you can chill, you can relax, okay? I'm going to introduce the Executive Director, Governance Watch, Bwana Kevin Osido. He'll be our mwalimu for today. I also want to learn, in fact, even my viewer at home, I think you also need to sit in on this one so we can be able to learn a lot. But let me now hand you over to Bwana Osido to pigia makofi.
We're going to be looking at devolution issues. We're going to be looking at leadership issues. We are going to be looking at governance issues. But much more fundamentally is because we are going through this process for us to be able to be leaders of a difference and leaders with a difference. What is leadership?
Leadership is about being a visionary. It's about being a transformative leader and having influence.
Thank you very much. She's brought in 3 very important words: vision, transform or transformation, and indeed the bit of influence. So let's move on to the next word, which is democracy.
Democracy is the recognition that people are at the center of participation and decision making, that you can do little without people being involved.
Very good, thank you very much. It's about people being at the center, making their own decisions
of resources, of the manner of governance that they want to be able to be taken through. One last word that we want to talk about is governance. What is governance?
Governance is the system by which the rule of law is followed, adhered to, and implemented.
Very fundamental issues. It's about leadership, it's about democracy, it's about governance. Where I come from, I have friends who have been leaders. We sit like this, they get elected, they get into office. Do you know what they do? Oh, so you are my neighbor where I come from. They change their phone numbers, they never pick calls, or they refer you to their PAs, personal assistants, and then ultimately friendship is done. Are those very positive characteristics of a leader? Write this down, please. Transformational servant leadership. Very important. Yes, Caroline.
Our perspective of leadership, is it the ATM that you can get cash from anytime you have a problem? I think that is why even the leaders behave the way they do, because the citizen forget what the role of a leader is. If you are elected, say for instance in parliament, in the county or national parliament, your work is to legislate and to represent the people in parliament and to oversight the executive. But the social issues, social aspect where you are expected to do A, B, C, D, and where somebody will call you even at 2 in the morning, I think a leader should also have some quality time to sleep so that they can perform well in the assembly.
Caroline is saying is that the leader also must have a me time. Me, myself, and I. So one of those tools, so the system that guides us is the Constitution of Kenya. This Constitution, of course, has 18 chapters. It has 246 articles. It has 6 schedules. So our Constitution also has chapters that also address issues of petitions. If you're not happy about a process, how do you have an opportunity to speak your mind? And the Constitution is very clear around how anybody can be able to exercise their power and authority, and also to have a say. Is there anyone who wants to have a say on what we have been talking about up to now?
The person who's the leader has to be a citizen. Let's remember what Obama went through. He had to print his birth certificate. So I can't decide, I'm tired of Kenya, they're not voting for me, so let me go to Uganda.
Very good.
As I just also want to add something on that, citizen must be a registered voter.
Very good.
So there are certain guidelines on how to campaign and how to, carry out your electioneering process as a candidate. There are certain rules and guidelines you need to conform to during the electioneering period.
What is currently hindering women from ascending to these positions?
Women have a problem when it comes to campaign financing, because most of their finances are controlled by the male, by their husbands, and because society is patriarchal.
When we go out there to do politics, we'll be labeled funny names, that we cannot keep homes, that we cannot be good mothers, that we cannot be this. And it is now our work to wake up and go give civic education to the women, and also teach our people that leadership is not about the money that we have. We should elect leaders depending on their character.
How was it?
Very educative.
Yeah? Stuff you knew already, or?
Some that I didn't know.
How was it?
Beautiful.
Stuff you knew before?
Yes, very familiar, extremely familiar, and it's all about what we know.
That's true.
And we are just trying to add more knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah.
More was on governance,
yes,
and leadership, and that I've learned before.
It has helped, huh?
Yeah, but it has really helped. It has come in a new version.
There you are.
In the first place, I was not that much familiar with the Constitution. It's now like it is, I'm following bit by bit.
The training was wonderful. I got to add so much information on what I already knew about leadership and governance. Also hearing from different various women discussing about issues affecting them, issues affecting the country, taught me so much in a broader perspective, more than I could just get in books. And I want to thank the tutor and everyone who participated in it.
You are watching Miss President. Welcome back to Miss President. Over 1,000 applications were received from all over Kenya, and from these, 70 contestants were shortlisted. After a series of auditions, 40 women were selected, and they will battle it out at the academy, where they will go through a process of training, tasks, challenges, problem-solving activities, presentations, and eliminations to eventually be elected Miss President. The candidates will be divided into 4 groups, as leadership does not work in a vacuum. Leaders are required to work with people from all walks of life. While working within these groups, the contestants will be tested on their ability to lead or work as a team. You can be sure that at every stage of this competition, you will be at the edge of your seat as these capable women try to convince the judges and you at home why they should make it to the next stage of the competition. Fortunately for the contestants, there will be no elimination in this episode. Eliminations will begin in the next episode. Obviously, we're going to put you into groups of 10. So 4 groups of 10 each. Very simple. So we'll start. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you say it loudly.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I can't quite walk into the group and see what they're doing, because all that in the name of competition has to be revealed inside. So there's some interesting activities happening within the group. Maybe they've realized that they need to put up some sort of structure. There are some others who are a little quiet, kind of like studying each other. Sharp women, so they kind of figure out what these dynamics are about. But still, you can hear, oh, let's cross that bridge when we get there. Because it is also a very scary moment. Because maybe now they've realized, oh my goodness, so we're in a group. And maybe during the accommodation, during the auditions, before now the mechanics have changed, they were like, okay, I'm drawn to this woman because I know she has this sort of demeanor, but now the realization is that demeanor or weakness which you wanted to protect, now that becomes your adversary. That becomes your weakest link. And now, these are the groups as constituted now.
And as we were discussing as a group, we realized that we have different talents. We have people who can present, we have people who have a background in research. We had people who are good in public relations. We had people who are good in governance. They have already worked in the government.
The groups, of course, were very interesting. Just getting to know each other and discussing. And I think the few minutes we had out there really helped, because then we were able to quickly tell who is good in what and that sort of thing.
But I will give them some tasks to do, very simple tasks. And I want you to observe how the dynamics begin to change.
So I'm going to give you your first task right now. And this task will be timed. It will be 10 minutes. And your first task is, each group must choose a leader. And you have 10 minutes to do so. Starting now. Go. And these are the presidents voted by their parties for this episode.
quite a number chose me is because they feel I'm firm, but also they say my voice is gentle and it's warm. You know, like I bring a warm spirit, I inspire people to believe in themselves and believe in all of us.
It really shocked me that already they really identified that I could speak, like I could articulate issues, and also my voice. So for me, I was shocked, but I was also happy.
From what I have learned is that my group members especially, since I came to the house, they had their eye on me. So they actually saw my character and how I'm very eloquent, I would say.
I have been working my way towards leading a team. So, you know, making sure you're somebody who is accommodating, somebody who shares knowledge, and somebody who empathizes. I think that got me there, despite not knowing which team I was going to end up in. The uncertainty, I think, for me, I was working up my position and making sure that everybody understood the kind of person I am.
Over 1,000 applications were received from all over Kenya, and from these, 70 contestants were shortlisted. After a series of auditions, 40 women were selected, and they will battle it out at the academy, where they will go through a process of training, tasks, challenges, problem-solving activities, presentations, and eliminations to eventually be elected Miss President. The candidates will be divided into 4 groups, as leadership does not work in a vacuum. Leaders are required to work with people from all walks of life. While working within these groups, the contestants will be tested on their ability to lead or work as a team. You can be sure that at every stage of this competition, you will be at the edge of your seat, as these capable women try to convince the judges and you at home why they should make it to the next stage of the competition. Fortunately for the contestants, there will be no elimination in this episode. Eliminations will begin in the next episode. Each group must convert into a political party, give it a name, and 3 ideologies.
Volunteer to give us a brief introduction so that everybody can get
introduction for one.
Because you implement chapter 6, you have implemented the whole constitution, every institution. Community is so because let's just say
Nguvu yetu.
Watu wetu.
Nguvu yetu.
Watu wetu.
Okay, thank you so much. I would like to thank my team. That is our People's Patriotic Front Party. And I'm not going to introduce my team, but what I want to say is we are here. And we are here to change the narrative in this country. And our party is strong as we stand. And we are going to change any narrative that women cannot lead, because everyone here is able in every part of the country where they come from, and they see the different perspectives in the different ways, but we are going to be one team. Thank you.
As embodied in our party symbol, which is the lioness, our party believes in the following 3 ideologies. The first ideology is social justice. We believe in inclusivity. We believe in equality of opportunities, because in our country, we come from different backgrounds, we come from different tribes, we come from different races, and we come from different social and economic standing. So we believe that everyone should be given an equal opportunity to express themselves and to participate in nation building. The second ideology is equitable distribution of resources. In this country, we have the marginalized areas and those areas that have been lucky to have resources. We also have those areas that have been lucky to produce leaders. We therefore stand for equal distribution of resources among all these people in this country of Kenya.
Today is indeed the best day in the political space of this country. A vision for the future has arrived in Kenya. A party for the future generation has arrived in Kenya.
The new face of political leadership has arrived in Kenya. And finally, the change that we have been yearning for has arrived in Kenya. As party leader, it gives me joy to announce the new face of Kenya's leadership. And I want you to see that indeed it is the new face of Kenya. The Octagon Party. That is indeed the new face of Kenyan politics. From the coast to Eastern Province, to Nyanza Province, to Western Province, to persons with disability, indeed, change has arrived. And our party promises to be a leader that is a servant of Kenya. I am pleased, I am honored to introduce to you our spokesperson, who is also the party secretary general, a lady right from the very heart of the coast, Asha. Kindly welcome Asha.
Kenya as a country has faced corruption cases and issues in this country. That is about integrity, ethics, and our morals as leaders. So for us, we believe in openness, accountability, and being transparent when it comes to service delivery to the citizens. And we are going to ensure as a party that the leadership and integrity chapter in the Constitution is well implemented. And we are going to strengthen the institutions that are mandated by the government to do that. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, we are going to ensure that we strengthen the capacity to actually implement the policies that are there to ensure ethics and integrity are observed.
Ubuntu!
You are because I am.
Ubuntu!
I am because you are.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Cabinet secretaries who happen to be women. I stand here as the chair of a political party that we want to unveil. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to welcome the Secretary General, the one and only, endowed with knowledge, superwoman, super powerful Jemima.
When this country has unity, we will include every person. The challenges that we are facing in this country right now is because there is not that unity. Where there is unity, people work together, they live for one another, and they share the resources from top to bottom. And that's why Ubuntu, I am here because you are, and you are because you are, I am. That's the reason we came up with that name. Our second ideology is inclusion and diversity. When you talk about inclusion, right here we could not be talking about the marginalization of persons living with disabilities and women and youth in this country. If we are in an inclusive country, everybody should be catered for. Everybody should be able to amplify their challenges and be one, and togetherness will lead this nation.
It's about time we grow, and it's about time we shield our Republic of Kenya. Having said that, I would like to introduce my cabinet. As we have here Honorable Irene, Her Excellency Irene, who is the spokesperson.
The name of our party is the Mustard Seed Party of Kenya. The reason why we chose this name after much consultation is because we believe that majority of people look at women and underestimate them. Just like the mustard seed. It is a very small seed, but when it is planted and it germinates, it sprouts and becomes big and gives cover to everyone. It gives food to everyone. It gives shelter to everyone. It becomes like a mother. We put Kenya first. And by Kenya first, this is what we mean. I will just quickly highlight that number one, When it comes to an investment that someone can do, we will first give the opportunity to a Kenyan investor before we give a foreign investor. And when a foreign investor is given that opportunity, they will then be required to give at least 70% of the employment to a Kenyan. So for us, it is about putting Kenya first. The same way foreigners get luxury in taxation and a holiday in taxation so that they can be able to jumpstart the business, we will do the same thing to Kenyans. Our youth, our women, the constitution will be first. So the president will always put Kenya as number one unapologetically.
Mwangaza wa Kenya.
Pamoja ni nguvu.
Mwangaza wa Kenya.
Pamoja ni nguvu.
Mwangaza wa Kenya.
Pamoja ni nguvu.
And now, a breakdown of the 4 political parties. You are watching Miss President. Welcome back to Miss President. Over 1,000 applications were received from all over Kenya, and from these, 70 contestants were shortlisted. After a series of auditions, 40 women were selected, and they will battle it out at the academy, where they will go through a process of training, tasks, challenges, problem-solving activities, presentations, and eliminations to eventually be elected Miss President. The candidates will be divided into 4 groups, as leadership does not work in a vacuum. Leaders are required to work with people from all walks of life. While working within these groups, the contestants will be tested on their ability to lead or work as a team. You can be sure that at every stage of this competition, you will be at the edge of your seat, as these capable women try to convince the judges and you at home why they should make it to the next stage of the competition. Fortunately for the contestants, there will be no elimination in this episode. Eliminations will begin in the next episode.
Brista has come out strongly for me today. To me today, I'm impressed. The Brista I saw when she was auditioning and the Brista I see today just gives me joy that Kenya is in safe hands as we advance to the other level or to the next level. She represents a generation that believes first in equality, not that we need to be given. And she demystified feminism and said, listen, women, you should not just sit there and say we want to be given and play the victim. You need to be powerful to get out by asking these positions and saying, I deserve because I am capable.
Umi, I noticed that when I looked right at you as an alternative to present our team ideology, our political party ideology, I noticed that you weren't very sure of yourself and you thought you had missed a lot of the conversations that we had. One thing I want to urge you to do is to stay confident and be confident in your ability, because I have seen the way you articulate issues. I am impressed by your legal knowledge. And so I want to see you gain more confidence to speak and explain issues, because in leadership you might be called upon
at short notice.
As women, it's time for us to stop on asking to be given positions. Power is about putting your foot forward and fighting for it. You can never become, and someone comes and give you a position because you're a woman. And even if a woman president is elected, it doesn't change the political process. It doesn't change that we have to fight. So what we need to do as women is to stand up and put our foot in the table. We cannot just be waiting to be given positions because we are marginalized or we are women. No. We have to go out there and fight as women.
I don't know how the judges in this, our Mwalimu was giving the lecture in the morning. He's also one of the people who's going to be deducing on the performance of the groups. So I know time is important in this exercise. Because they told me Jimmy just gave them an extra 2 minutes, an extra 4. So I don't know whether it will play a key role in this particular exercise. But I can tell you, it already has put a spot. So to begin, Mwalimu, Bakofi, tafadhali, Mwalimu. As you're giving them their scorecard, there's something I noticed and I wanted you to respond. There were set timings, so to speak. So party leader, 10 minutes, name of the party, and ideologies, 15 minutes. The ideologies, of course, I understand because you've got to discuss them. Party leader under 2 minutes. I don't. Maybe one can say these are women, Jimmy, not men. So men, you guys take time. Women already figure it out. Is that the case? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Thank you so much for this opportunity once again, and that's both a good thing and also quite surprising, because in leadership there are decisions that you just don't need to make because they are sparkles. You see it happening, you work on it. However, there are decisions that will require consultation. Why? Because leadership is a democratic process. Yeah, you have to consult, you have to engage, you have to form task forces. Yeah, you have to ask for researches to be done so that you're able to have informed decision. There are tasks that will require you to have teams. Yeah, tasks that you cannot just be able to undertake on your own. But in this case, I think you already have acclimatized and networked and organized yourselves, of course, with the issues at hand, so you understand them, you know what it is all about. You can see the future, because we are looking for one out of the so many of us, so you're able to organize yourselves around that task and the issues around the context, in the sense that we know where we are headed to. I like something about Twaweza. There was a song. You're the ones who were like, yeah. Because people want something that they can hold on to. Yes, you'll come and say all this nice grammar, leadership, democracy, but when I go back home, what will I think about? When I am so stressed, they will not think about People's Patriotic Front. They'll be thinking about, yeah. Because that is, it also gives the people who may not have that knowledge around the way politics is done and the political sense of things, it gives them an identity. So it makes you real, like you're not so up there, you are with us. Unaona kata wakasimama, wakadance kama sisi, kama wanakwaya wa church. Very important, because you need that identity within the people. All political parties did very well because you were able to come up with a rallying call. The mustard seed is very, very exciting. You will appeal to a certain faith of people, because I think so that when you talk about ideologies, people will be like, no, that party that spoke about the mustard seed, what is it about? And then in your explanation, you are very clear around it is a seed that grows very huge, and then it has a very strong foundation, and people are looking for those kind of small little things which they can hold on to. So much such that before you begin to talk to them about Kenya First and foreigners and tax holidays, what is it about the mustard seed? So a seed is something that people can relate to and relate with. They can touch it. You eat a mango and you see a seed, so you can say, oh, the mustard seed. Yeah? Octagon. pick that story of the new face and run with it. The new face. Because what leadership demands, and I think all the groups spoke about it, is change. You're in a leadership position so that you can be able to drive change. Please pick that because people are looking for hope. Yeah? And in all these circus that, especially a country where we find ourselves in right now, Kenya, that new face is missing.
So your task for tonight is 3. 1, guiding principles of your political party. The second one is your logo. I've had lioness, okay, an octopus. So we want those logos done. A logo is a symbol of a party. So being shy of educating you on how to put together a logo, let me see what you come up with first, and then I'm sure that's part of your exercise. And lastly, your political party slogan, which Mwalimu was calling the clarion call. When I hear that, will I say I want to be a part of that party? When I see the logo, will I say, my goodness, that I want to put on my tattoo, or on my back, or my t-shirt? Okay? It must be attractive.
After a busy and highly charged day at the academy, it's time to take a breather before starting the evening assignments at the residence.
Well, that's it for today. This group of 40 are at the start of a long and grueling journey that will demand the very best of them. So let's see who will emerge at the top to become Miss President. You know, it was interesting seeing leaders elect leaders from among themselves. Life here of viongozi. From now, let's wait and see how creative these contestants are as they come up with party names and slogans. Listen, thoughts, opinions, compliments, suggestions. Tweet us on @media_focus, Facebook @MediaFocusOnAfrica, Instagram @MediaFocusOnAfrica. Before I go, let me challenge you with this one quote from the first female Prime Minister of Mozambique, Luisa Diogo. It is no country's destiny to be poor. You don't want to miss the next episode of Miss President, where another fascinating topic will be tackled, followed by tasks to test the mettle of these amazing contestants. Tuonane.